You're up in the sky, I'll carry you home, home to the mountaineers. And soon, my friend, you'll see them again, the ones you left behind, the ones you left behind. And I'll sing for you all the way home. But why does it feel like home isn't home? I've been in this war too long. It's in the air that I breathe, oh, it's in the trees. It shivers down my spine.
All right, see what this is here? Anybody have any ideas? Well, this is the final timber for this timber frame project. This is the very last one. This is the last of my heavy stuff. This is the last of the complicated stuff. Not that this one's real complicated. A little gun shy after that other side of purlin plates where I was off on that measurement. I know you guys are tired of hearing about it, but I've probably checked this 10 or 12 times already to make sure I'm where I'm supposed to be with it. But it's kind of a windy, crappy night here tonight. We had a lot of rain move through today, so of course everything's sopping wet in here. But I've got the guys coming Saturday to set these. After that, I'm on to nothing but rafters and getting this thing closed in. So that'll mean that means we're that close to having a roof on this thing. That's going to be awesome. And I'm walking today with no pain. I went to physical therapy yesterday afternoon, and man, I could hardly walk. It's been awful the last few weeks, or last couple of weeks, to be quite honest with you. And I tell you what, I don't know what they did there yesterday, but they stretched something just right, something kind of popped, and I tell you what, it feels great today. The best it's felt since, well, I'd have to say since before I fell. Still walking a little funny, and I'm sure, never know if this will last or not, but I'll take it for as long as I can get it. So, the risk of rambling on too much, we're going to get this thing cut up. This will be the last timber time lapse and all that good stuff that you guys are going to see on this channel until the next project, but this will be the last one for a while. And we're just going to keep going. Next time you see us after this video, we should be setting these things, and I'm very excited. That means I'm really close, and we're moving pretty quickly. I mean, this is second week of October, and I didn't really get back to work on this thing heavy until the last couple of weeks, so I'm really excited because it's going fast. I'm moving better. I'm still not doing ladders and stuff like that, but I had people to help me out with that portion of it. So anyway, stay tuned. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you on the other side. Well, I'll tell you what, everything better come out right on this one, because I just spent probably a good hour and a half double checking, triple checking, all that good stuff. I measured all these again. I'm just paranoid I'm paranoid I'm gonna mess them up. It's actually the first time on this project I've second guessed myself that bad, but I'd much rather be safe than be sorry, I can tell you that. But see what develops. Well, I tell you what, I wish I'd had this saw from the beginning of the project. This thing is such an animal. It just makes makes everything about this easy. It just, so much less cutting by hand. It's just nice. I love this thing. I tell you what, skill saw definitely make it a good saw with this one. Definitely enjoy it. Now let's see if I can find my damn line. There we go. Look at that. Love this saw. Tell you what, Kim from Crass Family Farm, he did a superb job on these two timbers he made for us. This one right here is perfectly square. It's kind of the same as if I'd cut it myself on the mill. I mean, I take so much time squaring up on the mill, it's unreal. Almost hate to do this, guys. Almost hate to cut this down. To be honest with you, I really don't think I could check this any more than I have, or second guess any more than I have tonight. And for everybody who's going to give me shit for not doing this with the power saw, I just don't feel like flipping it a million times. It's only 2 inches of meat to cut through. So have to really watch our toes. And our tools. At least my feet were out of the way. That would add insult to injury, wouldn't it? Break the other leg dropping the timber on it. That would be phenomenal. It would be about par for the course on this one. Okay, look at that. Can we get a couple braces out of that? I can tell you if I knew where the hell I put my tape measure. Looks like I get off go. Must look like a crazy man. People driving by out here talking to myself. They don't know I'm talking to you guys. Again. Alright, now we can flop it. I think we're going to move it over to the other side of the horses now. What a mess, huh? You know, I told myself after I fell I was going to get better about. Of course, I didn't trip on anything on the floor. That was a freak thing. But I told myself, oh, you're going to do a better job keeping this project clean. And what do I know? It's the same story of being in too much of a hurry to clean up after myself. But I'm finding I'm looking at the floor when I move around more than I ever used to, that's for sure. So I guess all is not lost. This thing's going to feel like a matchstick compared to the rest of them. Alright. Well, if I was our brush, where would I have put me? Who friggin' knows? Boy, he just did a damn good job making this square. I don't often get timbers this square like that. I mean, I usually only get those results if I'm milling them myself. I mean, even with a, he mills with a wood miser, an LT35. It's a beautiful sawmill. But even he was telling me the first couple he did one or two other ones. He had trouble getting them square. You know, at first he had milled them and didn't check them like I normally would. Then he got oh, help me out, guys. He got looking at it, checking it with the square, and realized his mill was off a little bit. And that's something, if you guys have your own sawmill, I was in all the milling videos for this project. That's why you guys saw me squaring up to the blade for the first two cuts, or the second cut at least, every time. And after that, as long as your mill's good and is well set up the way it should be, it's a lot easier to keep it square. But so he figured that out. He had a couple things out of whack, and he said they were pretty well out. And it's easy to do. It's real easy to do. I mean, if you're just cutting rough cut 2x, stuff like that, or 1-inch boards for oh, just whatever project you're doing, say cabinets or woodworking, stuff like that, you're not really going to notice if that mill's a little out of whack. But when you get into bigger timbers like this, that's when you really find it. That's when you really notice if you have something out of alignment. And so they take a lot of time. Even a mill that's set up really well, it's not a bad idea to check and see what you have. You guys realize that this is the last scarf joint of this project? That's pretty cool, isn't it? It's been a long time coming, I can tell you that. Just ask Mary, she'll tell you. Boy, that woman's patient. She has been so patient through all this. She's been pretty much a timber framing widow for the last couple of years. Man, boy, that grain's a little bit of a pain in the ass. And she's finally going to get to see it come to fruition, and that is a good feeling. Doesn't get much better than that. Beautiful. Last two housings. I cannot believe we are finally at this point. It's starting to feel like this would never happen. But I'll take it. Alright, let's cut them up. Let's plug the router in first. Sometimes that helps. I don't know about you guys, but electricity is a good thing when you're trying to use power tools. Fun tool. Tell you, when I went with this design for these purlin plate braces, I made a lot of extra work for myself I did not need to do. I didn't have to center the tenon in these mortises. I don't know why I did that. It seemed like a good idea at the time, but looking back at it, hindsight, kind of a waste of time, and it would have been a lot easier just to make regular braces. I still could have centered them in the timber, but I should have left my tenon to one side like I normally do. Would have been a lot it would have been taken probably half the time, because like when I'm cutting the braces now, tomorrow night I have to try to get 8 braces done so I can be ready for the weekend, and I have to cut 2 cheeks out of them, so it's going to take twice as long to do them, and it's kind of dumb. So if you guys are doing these, save yourself some labor, and just keep your tenons to one side. Doing the centered braces is kind of a pain in the ass too, especially if your timbers are out of square. It can be a real pain, because it's hard to square off these housings using a router or anything really. It's a little bit of screwing around trying to measure and all that. The next project, I have a couple of ideas to make everything a little quicker and a little more accurate. For one, I want to build, I've got an old, I have an old Delta 12.5-inch planer. I'd like to make a carriage for it to go on the sawmill and set it up so that I can plane my timbers down square. Then it'd be a lot easier all around to have them planed down. And it'd look nice too, especially when we add on to the house. And you get onto the house, and inside I'm going to want it planed. All I really need to do is just make a carriage and all that good stuff. But I was also thinking, I've had problems with that chain mortiser for quite some time, trying to clamp it down and all that. I was thinking I could also make something to go on a side, kind of revamp it, so I can roll it up and down over top of the timber, lock it in place, and go from there. I think that'd be kind of neat. That could just be a crazy idea, crazy notions, but I think it'd be kind of cool. We're getting our chisel time tonight. Let's break our handle to mallet too, you know. Might as well just add all sorts of good shit to this project, huh? Okay. I'll square this guy off. Makes it so much nicer. I'll tell you one viewer suggestion I had quite a while ago, and I never think to do it. He said a set of Cook's tongs really work well for cleaning out these mortises, and I never think to do it, but it's such a good idea. I don't know why I never do it. I've had some good suggestions throughout this build. I've had some shitty ones. And for the most part, people have been pretty good. What the hell are we going to do videos about after? We got a few ideas. It'll be fun. There, look at that! You dirty bastard. I got you now. You son of a bitch. I know, I'll lose about 20 subscribers over the cussing. But I am happy tonight. Very, very happy. That, folks, is the last timber. There you go, you son of a bitch. Well, really long video tonight. And I thought it would be cool maybe to cut out the time lapse and all the music for this last timber. Just me and the tools. A little bit of music in there, but not a hell of a lot. Not a lot of explanation, but you guys have seen this explained so many times, it's getting redundant. But that's our last timber, everybody. That is our very last timber for this project. I poured concrete 3 years ago on this thing. I've had nothing but trouble, delays, just everything has piled on since this project started. I mean, shattered my ankle, you know, doing stupid shit up there. Finally just getting back to it. We're supposed to be done by now, but I am so happy. Obviously there's going to be quite a bit of work left even after these timbers are set, but it's all light stuff, it's all easy stuff. The metal's going to go quick, the rest of the siding will go fast. It'll pretty much be how much money do I have to spend at a time so I can get the rest of my materials, and that'll be the only hold up from here out. But we're running with it, guys. We are running with it. I have all the rafter stock I need. I've got the money for all the rafter stock. I'm going to the Amish for it just because it's so much faster and it's so cheap. They're getting a lot better in how they cut their lumber for me. They're finally kind of really figuring out what I like and what I need. So the rafters I have on order, the 2x8s for the top part of the gambrel roof. They understand to keep as many knots out of them as possible. You know, it's an exciting time for me to be to this point to where I can see huge progress now. You know, every step now is just a big jump. And for so long throughout this project, I've only done the channel, it'll be 2 years in January since I've started this channel. And you know, you guys have watched, a lot of you have watched, you know, since the beginning or close to it, and you've seen just little bits of progress at a time. Then all of a sudden you get a big jump. Well, right now I have all the sheet metal here on site. I have all the lower rafters for the gambrel roof. I have the other rafters ordered. They'll be cut pretty soon. We're just getting to a point where we're in really good shape. I got to get a bunch of 1x10s to close up the gable ends, but I'm just going to feel so much better just having metal on this roof over top of it. That's just going to be an incredible feeling. We're going to have framing on the ends here. To be honest with you, I'm still a little nervous working near the edge of this thing. My balance isn't quite where it should be, and it's kind of hard to find stuff to tie off to. I know there's big timbers up there, but a lot of your lanyards, they open up a certain amount before they really stop you, and I'm kind of on the cusp there, kind of on the edge of what it'll do. So at this point in time, now that we're up in the air, a lot of diligence and a lot of caution is going to be needed. I've had one life-changing accident on this project. I don't want another one, and I don't want anybody else to have another one. So when we go to set these final timbers, we're probably going to set up an extension ladder to get up to the second floor on the outside, because I'm going to close off that stairwell hole while the guys are here working, because they got to work right over top of that thing. And last thing I want or need is one of my co-workers and my friends to fall through and get hurt themselves. So really we're in good shape. I've closed up more of the holes up on the second floor. I've just been chipping away, you know, and I've just chipping away. You know, all the rafters are on that one side. You guys will see that in the next video when we're setting the timbers. It won't take me long to get the other side on. I tell you what I do have. I've cheated and used a bunch of timber locks to hold everything together. I have a bunch of pegs to make and a bunch of holes to drill. So I should have had that done by now. You know, it's one of those things. I hate making pegs, so I put it off, and it is what it is. But the timber locks are holding everything. It's not going to go anywhere. All the joists in the joist pockets, they're all timber locked into the tie beams. Nothing's going anywhere, you know, nothing's going to move. The braces are all in. So we're just in good shape. I'm excited. I'm excited. Now I'm not sure whether I should do the topping out the topping out pine bough on there after the last timber goes up or after the last rafter goes up. You guys let me know what you think. You know, it's your offering to the forest for giving you the timbers for your building. It's an old tradition. It's a good one, so we're going to be using it here. So anyway, I've yacked at you enough tonight, guys. I appreciate you watching all through this. You guys are great. The feedback, everything's been phenomenal. All the support when I got hurt, you know. You guys really, it was good to have you guys there. It was a really good support network. I appreciate it. So anyway, I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good night.